Hello to all of my Gems family. This is Life with Marlene, your Florida vlogger. So tonight, hello to all of my Gems family. This is Life with Marlene. Okay, hopefully that feedback stopped. So I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to today's podcast conversation. We're going to do something a little different for the late night for all of my gems. And like I said, this is for my grown folks, my grown people. Where are you at in the building? How was your day? Hope everybody is doing all right. So we're going to get into this topic because we're not going to be tapping in too long. But I wanted to talk about this right here. All in your business, right? Do you know folks like that who are all in your business? I mean, all. They got their finger, they got their nose, they got everything all up in your business. And what is the real kicker is their life is in shambles. Now, I'm talking about this from a grown, mature standpoint. I'm not coming with it's no messy stuff over here. It's no drama. It's no negativity. It's no shade. It's just the honest, real, unfiltered truth. And it's this when we're grown people. Grown people, we're all different. We want to do different things. And the thing about it is, there's always going to be those people who have their opinion of our lives and how we should look, dress, what you should do for your career, how you should, be living in your home. And all the meanwhile, these people who are nosy and all in your business, these are the main people that they don't have their life together. They need to do some work on themselves. Now, like I said at the beginning of this, I'm a grown person. I believe that I am a mature person, and I come from this perspective that I didn't ask for anybody's opinion. I didn't ask for, the aunties, the cousins, the relatives, the workmates, all of these people who want to interject into your life, poking their nose and giving their opinions, and you didn't ask for it. We never asked for their opinions, but they freely want to tell you, "Oh, you gained some weight. Oh, you're doing that job. You need to be doing this and you need to be doing that." And all at the same time, they're giving their opinion of your life, and you want to say to them, you need to back up off of me and look at your own self. See, what people don't do as grown people, they love to look at another individual, and I mean man or woman. Look at another man, you look at another woman, and we judge them. Now, I'm not saying that we don't all judge, because I'd be lying if I said we don't judge one another, because we do. It's part of being human, it's part of the imperfection inside of us. But the thing that really drives me crazy is people want to control you, try to tell you how you should be living, like the way that they're living is the only way. They want for you to be open and free minded to support them and do all of these things for them. But when it comes to you, they don't have anything positive. Now, I've known so many people in my life that they always got something to say. always. And it's never anything positive. That's the stuff that really gets on my nerves, that grinds my gears, and it pisses me all the way off. Dealing with individuals that I didn't ask them to be in my business, but yet they have made a decision to poke their nose. And then they have the nerve to say, I'm rude. How am I going to be rude, or how are you going to be rude? Because I'm speaking for the group of us mature women, mature men, that we're handling our business. We're doing our own thing. And here comes Mr. or Miss Nosy poking their nose, trying to tell you how to live your life. And they're not willing to really support you. They just want to throw some shots at you, throw some shade, try to bring you down, step on you, kick you while you're down. And one of the hardest things being an adult is not just adulting, but it's just maintaining that adult life of grinding to get your money, get things together, keep your mental health together and secure. But when we have people like these judgmental people, we know them, relatives, it could be coworkers, could be somebody you're in a relationship with. It could be anybody. And they're all in your business and have everything to say about you. And that is the thing that drives me crazy is you got people who are in your business and they have everything to say about you. And you look at their life and you're like, what? You talking about me? That's what I've always said about it's a few people that I know. And I know that my Gems family, I know that you all have some people that you know of, and they have so much to say about you. They got so much talk. People love to be flapping their gums with judgment and negativity and laughing at you, talking about everything about you, because it's all out there as adults. We know not everybody is going to look the same, dress the same, talk the same. But one thing we all have in common as a human race is we all have feelings. We all want respect. We all want a place to live. We all want good health. That goes across the board. We all want those things. But when you got people who try to come in and try to be controlling and possessive of you and your life, want to talk about how you raise your kids or the kind of job you do, or if you lost or gained weight, or whatever the relationship that you choose to be in, they come in with their judgments and you didn't ask them. And you're saying, how do you have the right to come over in my business trying to tell me how to live, how to look, how to run my business? And then when you look over to the side, they don't have things going themselves. I never have understood that. That's something that has never made any sense to me. How can you come and tell another woman or man, look at them in their face and tell them that they're not a good mother or father or brother, sister, cousin, whoever they are, or they're not good at this or that? If you're not going to help somebody, if you're not going to build them up, if you're not going to support them, people need to shut their mouth. And those are the same ones that want to be all in their feelings. They want to be hurt. Oh, you hurt my feelings, or you're rude, or you did this and you do that. But who asked them to come in your business? Who asked you to open up your mouth and to say anything about somebody else, especially when it comes to people and their kids? That's something that, when you talk about, okay, another adult, that's man to man, woman to woman, whatever. But you talking about somebody's kids. That's a little kid. That's one of those things that's off limits. You don't mess with people's kids. You don't talk about people's kids. I've seen so much and heard so much, being on social media and just day to day life. The things that people will do start mess. I've even seen people in real time try to call the authorities on people, try to call CPS. Here in Florida, they call that DCF. Try to call those agencies on people to try to get their kids taken away from them, all based on lies. It's not true. None of it is true. That is some real messy stuff. And I always say that what goes around comes around. What you do to somebody, oh, it's most definitely going to come back to you. But that's that grimy stuff of people who, I honestly feel like some people, they're just full of jealousy and hatred and negativity. And it's usually the people that you haven't bothered them, that all you're doing is out there living your life. I know me as a woman, I've always walked to the beat of my own drum, always been different than most. Not never been afraid to be different from the crowd. I've never been um what you call it, run with a crowd of people. I've never been that person. I've always been my own person. And I think when you are not a sheep, you're not following all the whatever everybody else is doing, there's a lot of people who are intimidated by your light, by your courage, by your willingness to just be yourself. There's so many people who are over 18, you know, and this topic today is for my mature audiences only, my grown folks, because there's a lot of us who you may be grown in age, like you're 18 and up, okay, according to the government. But at the same time, people are still out here living like little kids. You got to keep your nose out of people's business and focus on your own. That's the thing that I'm talking about. So many people, they love to be a mess. They love to dip their nose, put their fingers, pointing fingers, and something that my dad used to always say all the time when I was a little kid. I heard this for years. You have to be, when you take your finger and you point at somebody with judgment, they doing this, they doing that, they doing this to me, right? But at the same time, you also have to be accountable for what you do as well as an adult. And most people don't like that accountability part of being a grown person. So you want to talk about somebody. You want to talk about a mother or a father or a brother or a sister. You want to talk about how somebody lives or how much they weigh or all kinds of things. Whatever is going on in a grown person's life. You point your fingers at another person, but you better be careful for the way that you treat another woman or man, because one day it's going to come back to you. That's what a lot of people don't want to talk about. They don't want to admit it. They will deny it and all these things. It's easy for you to look at another person and judge them for what they're doing. But everybody has their walk, everybody has their journey, and you never know what somebody is going through. When I look at people, I may not agree with it, I may not like it, but who am I to tell somebody how to look, how to talk, how to raise their family, how to whatever it is that they're doing? That's not my business. I'm not concerned with it. I don't care what other people are doing. But one thing that I'm not going to tolerate is people coming into my business and telling me how I should live, how I should look, how I should talk, how I should be. I am not a sheep. I don't know about all of you guys, people on social media, and all of you grown people all over the world. I don't know what you guys do in your day-to-day life, but I'm not the one. I'm not one of those people that, even though I think people get me misunderstood because of the tone of my voice, and I've always been a soft-spoken person, but at the same time, I don't bother people. And that's something that really irritates me. Marlene's just over here minding her own business, and I know that there's a lot of people who are like me too. You're just doing your thing, minding your business, handling your stuff, getting things done. And people will take your silence for that you're not doing anything in your life. You don't know what people are doing in the background. You don't know what people have going on. The thing that really irritates me about other people is they love to look at another person and judge them. It's just like you could look at a person and they could be homeless, they could be on, substances, whatever the substance is that they're taking to try to cope with life. Well, are we to tell somebody how to be, how to live, you know? If you can't extend, if you can't support, if you can't help, if you can't encourage somebody, why are you opening up your mouth? It's so easy to look at somebody and judge them, but you never know when your time will be coming that you need help, you need support, you need some encouragement. It really kills me. It really kills me how, especially on social media, people have everything to say. And I know a part of being on social media is people are always going to be shooting off their mouth and saying all kinds of crazy stuff about you as a creator, But that's just that low vibrational, negative projections, insecurities. There's a lot of people that just want to see you sweat. They want to see if you will be affected by their words, or, they want an argument from you because they're an angry person. But also at the same time, you got to be careful what ants nest, anthill you stir up, because you never know what people are capable of. You don't know. Some people are on the brink of snapping, and all they need is just one iota. They just need one little thing, like, please, somebody do something to me so I can pop off. You never know what people are going through. I will never stop saying that. You never know what people are dealing with. You never know what people are going through. Even people that you see on social media, and they look so nice and they look so sweet, but you don't know when that camera cuts, when that live stream ends, when the video that may just be a persona that person is putting on. Y'all better stop believing these characters that people put on social media. That doesn't mean that's who that person is. That's who they want you to believe that they are. But the thing about Marlene is Marlene's always going to be the same today, tomorrow, and forever. I'm just in a season of elevation and growth. And the thing about it is people will try to clock you, or try to count your coins, or try to tell you, oh, something is too expensive, or I would do that too if I wasn't working. Like, how do you know people's home business? How do you know people's life? How do you know what somebody has going on? It's like, where were you when that person was working and hustling and grinding to get theirs? Or you don't know what people have going on behind the scenes, and the like. You don't know what people are dealing with. So if you can't open up your mouth and support, then click off. I say that all the time. If you can't support somebody, if you can't encourage somebody, if you can't elevate another woman or another man, leave them alone, you know? If somebody's not your cup of tea, it's cool. I always say that. I've said that all the time. I don't expect for everybody to be on my same vibe and elevation of positivity and personal growth, but I know that my crew, my people, those people who are on that same wavelength of personal growth will find me. And I know that. I'm not going to try to be something that I'm not just for clicks. I'm not going to I'm not doing that. But getting back to this topic today about people who have so much to say. Like I said a little bit earlier, people have a lot of things to say about you. You know, people would say a lot of things about me. You know, a lot of people just don't know so much things from my past, and I do share some things on here, not too much, but I've never gotten to the real, all of it, put the cards on the table and say some things because there's certain things that is none of nobody's business. But also, just so other people know, I have a past. I have, things that I've been through. I've been through traumas, just like probably everybody who is listening to this podcast, who's listening to this conversation. We all have things going on, and I've never understood why more women and why more men can't come together and support and encourage and build, like whatever, collaborate, do things together, help grow things. But honestly, I really understand what it is that when you have ideas, when you're growing, when you're learning, I've always said that you find out who are your real supporters. You find out who your true friends. The mask will always fall off, and if it doesn't fall off yet, it will start slipping. People will out themselves. People will show you who they are. They will show you that they support you. They will show you that they're there for you, and you don't have to do much. And the thing about it is, I want to go into talking about relatives. We all know this topic of having relatives. Notice I said relatives and not family. We all know that there's a major difference. We have we all have relatives, but relatives does not automatically mean that these are your friends. These are people who love you. These are people who support you. And I've said it so many times that just because you're related to somebody, it doesn't mean they love you. It doesn't mean they support you. It doesn't mean they want you to win. Unfortunately, relatives bring a lot of pain in your life. I've seen a lot in my life, and I know that many of you have seen a lot and been through so many things. Family, no, I recant that. Relatives can bring so much pain into your life. They can really hurt you. Like literally, they can by the words that they say, because when people know you, they know you based on so many years. They've been around you, but especially when you get into that season of growing and you're elevating and you're removing yourself from that negative relatives, toxic drama, insecurity, judgment, when you remove yourself from that, when you have those type of relatives, and I think everybody has relatives that are like that. They judge you based on who you were, but they don't know about who you are. People will look at you and think that you're the same person that you were, 15, 20 years ago, but they don't know about your growth. They don't know about your elevation. They don't know your struggles. They don't know about your mental health. They don't know about, you trying to struggle to make ends meet. And instead of hey realist, how are you doing? And instead of as a relative elevating and supporting you and saying, I know what you've been through, I'm here for you. Relatives are the main ones that they will take what you were and throw that in your face when you're in that building phase, when you're trying to transfer from being, I wouldn't say lazy, but you're elevating from the person that you were, and you're trying to improve, you're trying to empower and be a better quality woman or a better quality man. You're leaving behind the childhood things, the immature, the insecurities, and all of that. You're trying to move past that. And do you ever notice that when you're trying to grow, when you're trying to glow up, elevate, raise your vibes, shift your mindset, grow into being a better, happier, more peaceful woman or man, they always want to come and try to throw your past in your face. They always want to have something to say, talk about you, how you look, or what you're doing, with raising their eyebrow, or, saying something negative, trying to do something to get you down, to try to break your spirit, because that's all they can do. Unfortunately, some people who are our relatives, they may be grown in age wise, but they are definitely not grown when it comes to being mature, as to being supportive. It's so sad that people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and up are still acting like little toddlers. They've never moved past that toddler mentality. They've never left those things behind. They don't know how to grow, and they know nothing about being supportive and understanding and being kind, because they have never grown up. And the crazy part to me is these adults, they should be, right? Allegedly, they're adults and they're older than you, and they act like they're younger than you. You have those people who are like your aunts, older aunts and cousins and uncles and different people that should be a person that you can look up to. Like, okay, this is how you act when you get in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and they don't. It's a shame. It's an embarrassment that you have people that are your relatives that are still into drama, still making mess, lying on you, stealing, and they have not been delivered. They have not been empowered. They have not grown into being full grown mentally. That's the crazy part to me. Like, how can you be a person in your 50s, 60s, and 70s and still trying to make discord in the quote unquote family unit? It's like you're supposed to be the pillars of the quote unquote family, and you're the main ones starting mess. They're the ones that are the messiest. They're the ones that bring the most drama. They're the ones that always have these expectations. And I have these air quotes. They expect for you to do these things for them, and they wouldn't be willing to raise one finger for you. It's like, no. Or they are the ones that always are trying to start things like what you call separate. This is a big thing. I don't know about you guys and your family, but that is an issue on one side of my family. Of course, I'm not going to say which side, because you know how people find your content, probably will find the content and listen to it. So I'm going to say what I have to say without saying too much. But how can you have people who are generations of cousins, right? It's like your first, second cousins, and you don't even really know each other because you have been separated because of what your parents and their parents have done. Like there was a falling out, there was a drama of some sort, there was something that happened, and you don't talk to one another because of what your mother or your father said. And that's crazy to me, how you can have something that has nothing to do with you. Has to do with your mother or your father and their siblings. And it's like cousins broken apart, at each other's necks, hating each other based on something that you never even experienced. Yeah, realist. Yeah, it turns into a generational beef, and that was something that I was so sick of. Hey, Sirius, how are you doing? That was something that I was so sick of having that amongst my relatives, like hating my cousins and uncles, people I have never met in my life. And I grew up having my parents say, you don't talk to this person, you don't talk to that person. You know, if you say, for instance, your mother or father had some falling out with their sister or brother or whoever, amongst the relatives, why does that have to impact me? Why can't I deal with their kids? That has nothing to do with me. But it's happening, and it's breaking down families. It's breaking down the unit, the love that should happen, right? We're grown people. Let's have the conversation. Why is it that cousins and nieces and nephews and all of these people, I know I'm not the only one. You got these huge families, right? And we don't even know each other. You can't know each other because you can't talk because something happened 40 or 50 years ago that you have no idea about. You don't even know the story, but you just know you don't talk to each other. There's bad blood. And like Reala says, there's some beef. Thank you so much for the floating heart, Sirius. I appreciate it. There's beef that has absolutely nothing to do with you, but all you know is you don't deal with them, and they're no good, and they tell you all of these things. They pack your head full of stuff. They're this, they're terrible people. I was like, but that's my blood. I understand if siblings don't get along, but denying the bond of cousins and nieces and everybody else because of a falling out, because of a beef, because of whatever happened, that's crazy work to me. That's crazy work. I don't like it. It's something that I absolutely hate. And when my parents passed away, that was something that I wanted to shift and change. We can only do so much as adults, but I wanted to make sure that the things that my parents did, I wanted to heal. That's why I'm so adamant about therapy and communicating and showing love to the people that matter to me. And don't get me wrong, everybody. I'm not saying it's a kumbaya and you're going to get along with everybody that are your blood relatives. That's not what I mean. I mean the people that matter to you, the people who are important, the people who are supportive, the people that you care about. Learn each other. Um, and I'm going to say this. I grew up, I come from a big family. I've said this many times on social media. I'm the last of 10. I have 9 other siblings. And it's crazy to me that you can grow up around people but not know them, have no idea. Like, you know them on a surface level. Of course, you know their names and things like that. But do you really know your people? And this is the conversation that I'm talking about. You got siblings that are at beef, having beef with each other, cousins, aunties, whoever, relatives having beef with each other. And like where is the love? I want to know where does it go wrong? Why is it that there's no love? There's no closeness, there's no unity. Is it because people, when they become adults, they don't really care about one another and they're only focused and centered on themselves, that they don't have time or room for anybody else? I don't know. I'm just asking because it's something that I've thought about so many times. I have a lot of siblings, but I only have a few of my siblings that actually put in the work to love me back. See, and I think in my case, this is how I feel. I can't speak for anybody but myself. Sometimes you grow around, your siblings, for example, like I'm speaking about. You grow around them, but you don't really know each other. You don't really know, like, what are their idiosyncrasies? What are the things that they like to do? What are their talents and gifts? Do you sit around and you have conversations about what are their goals? What do they want to do? What makes them happy? What are, what ticks them off? What elevates them? What makes them tick? What do they want to do in the future? What are they trying to work towards? Do you really know your people on that level? And that's some of the stuff that, I've been trying to do in the background, in doing some generational healing, some sibling healing. First of all, like I said, I understand that not everybody wants to. Some people don't want closeness. Some people, all they want is drama and negativity and to use you for money or to know your business. And I know as a mature woman, I'm not interested in having people in my life just to judge me or to just want to control me, because that happens too among the relatives unit, that they just want to be able to tell you what to do. And like I said earlier, like the title of this life is about, and their life is in shambles. They want to judge you, they want to control you, manipulate you, tell you how you should be, how you should live. But if you look at their life, it's like sometimes they're not even working, or they don't even aren't even taking care of their own a family unit or their own self, or they haven't worked on their own mental health, and yet they look at you and laugh at you and judge you and try to start mess and create all of this pain and aggravation and drama. And I just want no parts of it. I absolutely want no parts of drama. I absolutely want no parts of any dynamic. Yeah, and but that's something that I honestly have been trying to shift. You know, I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. My family is not perfect. Um, and nor do I want to be. I just want to be better. I want to be better. And like I've said so many times on various channels, all I ever have wanted from therapy is to be better and not bitter, because I spent so much years of my life being bitter, being angry, feeling like this is all I deserve. And these days I am claiming better for my life because of my mindset, because of my choices, because the way that I treat other people and the way that I treat myself. And I think a lot of times when it comes to relatives, that they haven't come to that space of peace. And I think that that's a really major problem. Yeah, but the thing about it, what I've come into now, realist, is those of you who aren't there yet, me having my family having lost both parents. It's a completely different shift after your mother and father are no longer alive. I can't explain it to you. You live a completely different life because I wouldn't say you have them as a crutch, but you really find out who really was there for you, who really cares about you, and who was only there because of your parents. I hope I'm explaining that well enough, but uh, it was very hurtful for me when my parents passed away, making some assumptions that now that my parents are here, now we're going to get closer to one another because we're all we have now. And then you come to that conclusion that they really were only there because of your parents and not because they were interested in you. Really didn't care about you. And that sucks and it hurts. But I'm to the space now that if people don't actually want to actively participate in my life and aren't supportive and from the beginning, if they're not supportive, if they only want to drop in every few months, I'm not interested in that sort of relationships anymore. I don't do, what do you call it? Shelved relationships. That's what I call it. I don't do shelved relationships. People who put you on a shelf, ghost you for weeks, for months, and then when they get ready, 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, oh hey, reaching out, and you're like, what? Who is this? Like why? Like, why are you contacting me now? I'm no longer interested. I'm at that space in my life where I'm not interested to have conversations with people who you were invisible, like you've been invisible. Like, okay, where were you when I needed you weeks ago and I was going through whatever situation? You weren't there. So I'm not interested in hearing anything from you now. That's just the space I'm in now. I have no time. I'm not going to be holding people's hand. I'm not going to be filling people in about why I don't want to deal with you anymore, because I don't. If people have dropped the ball on treating me with respect and kindness and pouring into me, and not they have not shown love and consideration for me, I'm not interested. I'm no longer interested in being a part of it. Rilla says it's definitely certain times in life when it's actually revealed who cares about us in our worst times. Yeah, it definitely, people, like I said, people, they out themselves. The mask will slip, or the mask will completely fall off, but eventually it reveals itself because if you are the only one doing the calling, if you're the only one doing the supporting, or if the only time they are interested in conversating is if they want something from you, that's not that's not a healthy relationship. And I'm at the space in my life at my grown age that I'm not going to fake things. I'm not going to fake, you don't have to fake that you care about me. And I'm not going to fake that I care about you because it's an obvious thing. If people care about you, they will be willing to put in the work. They will call you on a regular basis. They will support you. They will check on your mental health. They will just be there for you, not just in the bad times. And that's something that I'm really over it. And it's something that happens a lot, and I'm not trying to stereotype or anything, but it's something that happens a lot in the Black community, that they only want to s- to talk to one another only during crisis. And I'm so sick of that. I don't only want to talk to you if somebody is sick or in the hospital or somebody passed away. Or like a special occasion, like somebody's getting married or something, or an engagement or something. I I don't only want to see you at a party. What about all of the in-betweens? What about, everything like life? What about life support, adult support, mental health support, just being there for you through it all? And yeah, that's where I am in my life. If I can't be supported through it all, the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens, then and that's why I say I am not interested to be around people who their life is in shambles and they always want you to pull them out of the fire. It's like, no, you set the fire. You are the one that don't go to work. You're the one that's lazy. You're the one that has whatever substance issues. You're the one that got stuff going on. You need to work on yourself. I no longer pick up projects. Therapy helped me with that so much, that it's not my job to be everybody's savior. Oh, Lord. That was a big deal, and that was so hard for me because by nature I'm naturally a person that I like to help people. But I had to understand and learn that kindness has limits. And not that I'm going to stop being kind, but you have to separate kindness from being taken advantage of. And that's where there's a gray line when it comes to people that you love. They automatically feel like it's mandatory that you have to do this, that you have to talk to them, that you have to support them, that you have to give them money, that you have to, and you don't have to do nothing when you're grown. You don't have to do nothing. You don't have to support people. You don't have to talk to people. You don't have to do nothing, especially the people who have all of these expectations about what you have to do for them are the main people that you need to stay away from because they have toxic energy. They will drain you. They stress you out. They stress you all the way out. They drive you absolutely crazy. And I'm just so tired of those people that I had to just cut them off, you know? And it's not that I don't love them. There's a lot of people in my life, I love them, but it's not my job to save you. It's not my job. You need to grow up. You need to learn how to be a better communicator. You need to learn how to be a better supporter. You need how to be a better friend. You need to learn how to be compassionate. And it's not my job to grow people up. It's not my job to tell people what they need to do. They need to put in some work in themselves. And that's one of the reasons why I worked on me. Because if I didn't work on me, I promise you guys, I would not be here today if I didn't work on myself. I put that on everything. I wouldn't be here because I was on that fast track to being 6 feet under, because burnout city. I was bending over backwards, helping everybody, but I wasn't helping myself. And we have to draw that line, especially when it comes to relatives and people that we love. Just because you love people doesn't mean you have to do everything they want, everything that they need. We don't always have to be accessible, you know? Therapy really helped me with that. Don't make yourself accessible. Full people want full access pass to you, that they can call you whenever they want to, right? But when you do the same, then they want to say, oh, you're mean, you're rude, you're nasty. It's like, when is the last time you called? You checked on me. When is the last time you did? So all of those people that feel they enable, like they have the right, and I had to cut those people out of my life because it was affecting my mental health. It was affecting my physical health. It was affecting me financially. And I want to talk to you guys about that right there. As an adult, the money part is a very sticky area for so many reasons. That's, it's a sticky, it's a very touchy subject when we talk about, how we deal with our relatives when it comes to money, how you deal with romantic relationship when it comes to money, how you deal with all kinds of people when it comes to money. And it can cause people to fall out. People get unalived behind it. It does a lot. People stop communicating with one another because of money. So for me, the best thing is I just had to stop being everybody's ATM. I had to stop feeling like it was my responsibility to help other people. And I have compassion for others. I really do. I especially have compassion for the older people that are in my family, and I love them. But one thing that had to change for me is I can't always put myself on the back burner and make my bills or things that I need to do for me be pushed to the back, or I don't even think about myself at all, because that's what was going to put me in the ground really soon. And when I had went to the doctor way back in, when was that? I was a little bit before C19, and they were like, your blood pressure is through the roof. All of my levels were elevated, because I was so stressed out. I was so stressed out because of all the responsibilities, all of the people that in my life, and everybody has their hands out. Everybody is calling my name. Everybody's calling my phone number. Do this for me. Do this for me. Do that. And not just asking, but demanding. That's the stuff as an adult that's a big no-no. You can ask, but you can't demand. And if you say, no, I can't, they have an attitude, and then they want to say, well, what did she do with her money? She makes good money. How come she can't give me? She can get it back. It's like people are trying to clock your money, count your money, tell you what you should do with the money that you made. It's like, no, that had to end. That had to end. And the only person that can end that is you. So that's one of the things that I have some people in my life that I can't deal with them anymore because it's always their hand is out and they have expectations that I have to help them, and I can't do it anymore. I can't deal with the people who stress me out and talk about me. That's another thing that I don't like about other adults. They want you to help them, and at the same time they're judging you, which makes no sense. They want you to help them. They want you to support them. And if you don't, then they would say, "Oh, you were never any good anyways. You weren't good for nothing." And it's like, wait a minute. I was good as long as I can help you, but when I can't help you, now I'm the worst person. So which one is it? Am I a good person? Do you, do you even love me? The thing about it is that they probably never loved you, never cared about you. People want relationships of convenience. That's what nobody wants to talk about. And yet, there, I said it. People just want you to be their bank or to know your business or whatever it is, the purpose for you being in their life. Every relationship, people are there for a reason, and most of the time their reason is they are getting something from you. And when you stop allowing them to get something from you, now they hate you. Now they will, the mask will drop off and they will really reveal they never cared about you anyways. It was only about what they could know or what they could get from you. And when they stop getting things from you, they're done with you. Now they hate you, and you're going to start hearing back, "Oh, I never liked them," and whatever. And they're this and they're that. And it's like, it's okay. It's cool. Because I have nothing negative to say about anybody. I could say some things, but I leave those things behind because I'm not that woman anymore. I'm not, it's not my responsibility to make other people happy. They have to make their own self happy. And when I started choosing myself, you know, when you start choosing yourself, when you start growing up, handling your business, saying no, setting those boundaries, boy, boy, do people hate you. Boy, I'm telling you, and it's not, and I'm not just talking about your relatives. I'm talking about coworkers or anybody that you know, people on social media. People will start hating you when you start taking care of yourself, especially when you start looking good. I don't know how it is for men because I'm not a man, but I know as a woman, when you start taking better care of yourself, like they will be looking at you from head to toe. Oh, her nails is done. Oh, her hair is done. Oh, that's a new blouse. That's a new shoe. Oh, she just got a new purse. What happened to the other purse she has? Like, people will literally be counting everything you have. Like, know all your shoes, all your outfits. It's crazy. They know every time you get your nails done or whatever. It's some crazy work. I don't know what men go through, but I know as a woman, it's not easy to be a woman. It's not easy to be a woman at all. Sometimes people think it's easy, but it's not easy being a woman, because, yeah, it should be more support. Other women should be supportive of other women. But I have always found from the time I was younger, it's usually always men that would support me as a woman. Most of the time, women are just backstabbers, jealous, negative, and there's no reason to that because I'm not that type of woman that I'm going to do anything but pour into other women. I don't deal with other women in any other way but in sisterhood and kindness and being, supportive and all of that stuff. So when I get that negativity and that hate and that, whatever judgment, I just leave those people alone. You can't help everybody. You can't support everybody. You just can't. Yeah, it is what it is. But the thing that I wanted to say about today's topic is those people who their life is literally running into the ground. Like they have so much things going on. And I'm not saying that to judge or to make fun of anybody, but literally we know the people and their life is not going well. And they want to be upset with you because you're maybe doing well, you're thriving, or you're happy, or that you have changed who you were. And I think that's where the problem lies. Since I stopped being with the people who were negative, and I'm trying to shift my mindset to be more positive and to be kind and to show people love. And I don't want to be with the negativity and the gossip and the drama and who's doing what. And I'm not interested in that. If it's not positive, if it's not about peace, if it's not something that's going to empower my mind, I don't want to be any parts of it. And I think that is usually the reason why people will be upset when you don't want to be around them, and people automatically assume when you don't want to be around them anymore that you're jealous of them. That has absolutely nothing to do with jealousy. It's when you shift your mindset, you have nothing in common anymore. There's no jealousy. There's no bitterness. There's no anger. You just simply move on. You just simply grow. And that's all there is to it. I always say I wish everybody well, but on the other side, they don't wish you well. They're not supportive. They're not trying to pour into you, but, it's all good. You just have to leave those people behind. So thanks so much for tuning into the message. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is something new for me to do over here. I don't know. We'll see if I'll do another one based on the numbers, based on you know the vibes and everything. We'll try this again another time. Thanks everybody for your support. I appreciate you. Shout out to Realist for the idea to do a more late night one. I hope you enjoyed it. A shout out to Sirius and everybody else who came through in the building. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. And shout out to my channel members. I appreciate your support. And if you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe, hit the like, turn on your notification bell, and I most definitely will tap in on the next one. I'm about to start my continuous stream. Thank you guys for your support, and I will see you guys on the next one.